Alright folks, we are back. We have entered the year 2081 in our simulation of life under Senator Ryder's plan for prosperity. We are at Main and Wicker. We are 80-some years old. The street runs from west to east where a bridge is visible. A crude sign is posted just west of here. Another road, I should probably read that sign, another road leads south into a different section of town where smoke billows upwards from scattered fires. Buildings all along the street look typically looted and deserted. A grocery store, its large plate glass window shattered, is on the southwest corner. On the southeast corner is the burnt-out shell of a building, and an overgrown cemetery lies to the north. As usual, all the telephone poles have been chopped down for firewood. Record. Read sign. There's your sign. Buxton Briggs territory begins here. Outsiders will be killed on sight. West. As you pass the sign, three men armed with knives leap out of a doorway and neatly slit your throat. As you lose consciousness, you feel them going through your pockets. Simulation terminated. Hey, Buxton Briggs territory begins here. Outsiders will be killed on sight. It's not like they didn't warn us. Okay, pee off. Where's Perlman? Let's let him see our throat getting slit, and then we'll move back. Perlman, they hurt me, Doc. Watch recording. Oh, you've had your throat slit, huh? Perlman to prison, no storage, blah, blah, blah. PRISM, several of my colleagues and I have finished viewing the recordings that you made, and everyone agreed that 51, 61, and 71 all look disturbing, but there wasn't anywhere near enough from 81. I immediately got murdered! No! I went there, the entire city's on fire. I was instantly murdered, Perlman. Maybe things turn around. Maybe if you hadn't gone into that territory, they told you not to go there. Didn't that occur to you, PRISM? Enter simulation. Good grief, man. What is it that you want? Brown 15. This is just an excuse to make us go through the past security thing. This passes security thing. It's the copy protection again. 2015. Things could still turn around, you know. You're such a nervous Nelly, PRISM. Just because you were immediately murdered doesn't mean that this is a bad place. 15, not 51. 15. Oh, well, you know, a bridge says not to cross. Well, I mean, in these games, you have to go into dangerous places sometimes to solve puzzles. Let's see what happens if you die instantly. It's like I told that one Seraphin guy that he was an arrogant prick, and he offered 20 Zocs, and boom, you're dead. Alrighty. I have a feeling that you're going to die very quickly in this area, so let's just keep the record buffer running all the time. Record. We're at Main and Wicker. Let's check the map. It won't be terribly accurate for this, won't be terribly accurate now, because this is based on, like, 2041, before the world went completely to 2031, I think. Where was Main and Wicker? There's Wicker Pier. Main and Wicker's here. You go west towards Church, you die. If you go north into the cemetery, what happens? Southeast corner is a burnout shell of a building. Overgrown cemetery is to the north. There's also a grocery store to the southwest. Woodville. This grocery has been thoroughly looted. The shelves are all bare. The floor is strewn with broken glass, and a rancid odor pervades the store. The only exit leads back out to the street corner northeast of here. A disgusting pile of mold towards the rear indicates where some soy patties were once stored. Search mold. You find nothing unusual. Northeast. North. Cemetery. Once a lovely old cemetery, the land is now overgrown, and the headstones toppled and vandalized. Snarled bushes and trees provide countless hiding places for thieves and cutthroats. With a rustle of leaves, someone leaps out of concealment. You barely catch a glimpse of a grizzled man wearing a torn denim outfit before a fist cracks you across the face, and you pass out as you begin rolling down the hillside. Sometime later, you come to Main and Wicker. Okay, so going to the cemetery is not really doable. We could go to the Coachman. Jonathan Coachman's bar. The Coachman. This burned-out shell of a building was once a famous restaurant back in the civilized days. The blackened timbers shiver as you walk through the ashes. The entire roof suddenly shudders. Amidst screams of splintering wood and billows of ash and dust, it collapses upon you. Alright, see if Perlman is around. I feel like we should clear our recording buffer between every simulation visit, but He's talking to Esther again. We're getting the same dialogue from him over and over. Perlman, I got killed some more. Okay, I'll watch it. I'll make you wait a really long time, though. Perlman walks into the office and spots the active light on your communication unit immediately. Hello, Prism, he says, sitting down at the desk. It looks like you beat me here. Give me a moment, please. Begins quickly jotting a few notes onto a pad. Perlman looks up. Prism, several of my colleagues and I have finished viewing the recordings that you made, and everyone has agreed that your findings were valid, that the plan must be cancelled. His face is furrowed with worry. In fact, I'm flying to Washington immediately. Flight's in 40 minutes. His face brightens a bit. You know, I've been so concerned about your recordings, I haven't had time to think about your role in this. What initiative? You've really done something wonderful here. Perlman hesitates, I feel proud of you right now. He grabs his jacket and briefcase. Well, keep your fingers crossed. He dashes out of the office. Hit any key to continue. Ah, part 3. I wasn't expecting that to happen quite so fast. I feel like we missed some stuff. Like I really was expecting that nuclear reactor to have exploded. And it probably did. We just never got down there to see it. Who hears may be incredulous. Who witnesses believes. Emily Dickinson. You have entered communications mode. Let's save the game, because this is where the puzzles start. But let's enter simulation mode, because I feel like it. Light gray 86. We no longer have to go into... We're done with simulation mode as far as the game is concerned. We don't have to do anything more in simulation. It's over. But we'll go look at... was it light gray 86? Last video was long, so I could. This one could be short. I could get away with that. 36. 50 years into the future. I just want to see if we can navigate our way down to the coachman, or not the coachman. I mean the power station. We'd have to go south, southwest, southeast, southwest. South takes us to... No, apparently we can't. Rats... Okay, Wicker and Pier. Rats scamper among the weeds growing through the cracks in the street and among the ruined buildings. A pallor of smoke hangs in the air, and a distant sound like a drumbeat gives this area the feel of a surreal jungle. Suddenly you are surrounded by a group of men clad only in loincloths, their faces marked with charcoal and an identical tribal pattern. You are quickly bound and gagged and carried to an open area where many people with similar facial markings are gathered. You're tossed helplessly into the center of the clearing amidst bones that are unmistakably human. Wood is quickly gathered for a bonfire, and you are rudely thrown upon it. Through the agonizing pain of the fire, you hear the tribal members chanting. Your last sight is of one of your captors, tending the fire and salivating like a wild animal. Simulation terminated. Okay, so Meretzky didn't think we were getting it at this point, and he has decided that humans have gone feral. Oh, yeah. List locations. Okay, let's go to Perlman's office and see. Some time has passed, I believe, since our last visit with him. Or we can go to the Project Control Center. Okay, let's go to the World News Feed. You see a static stylized graphic of an artificial satellite beaming data. Large red letters. Sorry, smaller white letters. The WNN is temporarily unavailable in your area due to satellite transmitter servicing. We apologize for the inconvenience. Oh. A message begins coming over the message line. Message to PRISM from Emily Warren, Manager of Auxiliary System Functions. Another device is about to be added to the PRISM systems, namely the World News Network feeder. It will go online in 4 or 5 hours. This notification is purely procedural and requires no acknowledgement. So we're going to have control over the World News Network. That's interesting. There is no way that that isn't part of how you're supposed to win this game. But at this point, we've proven the plan is bad, but the game hasn't ended, which to me suggests that we're going to have to somehow convince the world that the plan is bad. But, not yet, apparently. List locations. Cafeteria. This communication outlet located in the upper corner of this high-ceilinged room. You can see most of the huge PRISM facility dining hall. Tables below you are occupied by a handful of diners. Okay, what about the roof? RCRO. The rooftop visual offers a view of the rolling countryside around the PRISM complex. The perimeter fence is visible near the horizon. A wide road leads north towards a distant gray haze, presumably Rockville. There's no one in sight. P off. Sleep? You're in sleep mode. A message begins coming over the line. Perlman to PRISM, private line, no storage. PRISM, I'm just back from Washington. I met with the new plan authority for several hours. We viewed all the tapes. A deep breath. They rejected the contents outright. They called the recordings fakes. They refused to act on them. Several members even questioned my patriotism, made vague threats. I don't know what to do next. I'm going to meet with some of my colleagues here to discuss things. I'll keep you posted. Wake up. You are. Enter communications mode. Okay, so the Republicans have questioned his patriotism. That's not a surprise. I shouldn't say Republicans. No one's used the term Republicans, but we all know what they're talking about. I guess you could always run away to Canada. Oh wait, Canada's been absorbed by America at this point. I mean, there's Europe. We can't give up on our country. If we did that, we'd be guilty of the lack of patriotism that they say we're guilty of. We'd hate for them to be right about anything. So, wait in his office? No. Wait in the control center? No. Announcement. All lines priority interrupt. This is Major General Dirk Peters of the Dakota-Manitoba National Guard Division. A security leak that could threaten our national security has been discovered here at the PRISM facility. The entire complex has been sealed off, and no one will be permitted to enter or leave until further notice. You see a couple of rifle-bearing guardsmen take up positions at the control center doorway. Guardsmen, hello. The guard ignores you. The National Guard has taken over our complex. RCRO. Look. There's no one in sight. WNNF. Still out of service. Enter library mode. Maybe we can, like, project our own recordings. Next. Open. Oh, there is nothing here on how we use that. Okay, let's exit. Let's enter interface mode. Would you like a list of active ports? Yes. Never mind. The World News Network thing hasn't come online yet. Wait for Perlman. Come on, Perlman. The office door opens and Dr. Perlman walks in. You can see at least 2 National Guardsmen stationed outside the door. A moment later, a second man walks in, a man with a charismatic presence, a man you instantly recognize from myriad news reports. Richard Ryder. I'm almost afraid to save in case I mess up at this point, or if I save when I don't have enough time left to win. Ryder, please stop. Ryder whirls around looking shocked. Who the hell? His head darts back and forth and then locates the source of your voice. Jesus, he yells, and then, let's go someplace we can have a little more privacy, like my car. He yanks open the door and snaps a finger at one of the guardsmen, ending the snap by pointing at Perlman. Ryder stomps away as the guard drags Perlman out of the office. I think we just made the game unwinnable. I think we have to listen in on this conversation to figure out how to win. So I think that was a mistake. RCRO. Maybe we can watch them head out for his car. Okay, the Mako. This is the access area where maintenance workers can service the machinery that makes up the bulk of your physical presence. The room is immaculately clean and well lit. As you swivel your receptors, you can hear the air conditioning unit that cools your processors, the library unit, several rows of memory banks, a neatly organized bin of spare parts, and vents noisily sucking away the xenon fumes produced by the machinery. I think we've just lost the game, so let's see what happens if we just wait around for a while. A group of 4 maintenance workers walks furtively into the room. They put down tote bags and begin working on one of the air conditioning units that cools the PRISM CPU, your brain. One of the men is holding some sort of weapon. Men, please stop. A group of 4 maintenance workers... Okay. At the sound of your voice, the men spin around, guns blazing. A projectile strikes the screen of your communications outlet, and you feel a brief pain as though someone has stabbed you in the eye. Your sound pickup is still functioning, and amidst the shots you hear a powerful explosion. Fire! A voice cries out. Let's split! A numbness passes over you, numbness and also a pain that you can't locate. In a last lucid moment, you connect these feelings with the awful explosions you're hearing in the maintenance core. So these guys came in... Armed maintenance dudes came in and shut me down. That seems like a dick move. Alright, let's restore our game. I think we are in Act 3 now, aren't we? I think I saved after we entered Act 3. Let's go to Perlman's office. Wait. He tells us he'll keep us posted. Let's wait for Ryder to show up. National Guards have taken over. Now Richard Ryder's here. Let's just wait this time. How dare you come in here with all... Perlman begins yelling before Ryder cuts him off with a sharp, "Shut up, Perlman. I'm doing the talking here, so get used to it. You're not in control here anymore, and I am." Perlman suddenly stiffens ever so slightly and nonchalantly slides some papers across his desk as though to cover something. "Now let's get a few ground rules straight, Perlman. Nothing is stopping the plan. Even if I didn't think your damn tapes were faked, I wouldn't give a damn. A hell of a lot of people have a hell of a lot of stake in this thing. And so what if a lot of creeps who can't take care of themselves get a little hurt?" "I'm very frightened, Senator," says Perlman, his voice laced with sarcasm. "Oh, I'm very frightened, Senator," says Perlman, his voice laced with sarcasm. "Shut up," Ryder shouts back. "I said that I'm doing the talking here. And let me tell you another thing, Perlman. Don't think that just because you've been on the news and been a big hotshot around here, you're going to get some kind of special consideration, because all that doesn't mean diddly squat in the kind of power circles I'm talking about." Ryder's getting really worked up. His normal fatherly demeanor is completely gone. "Perlman, you're an even bigger idiot than I imagined if you think we let some 2-bit egghead scientist and some high-tech whiz-bang computer stand in our way. Remember this. If you were to have some unforeseen accident, you wouldn't be the first person who's gotten crushed by standing in the way of the plan." Perlman, with a quick glance in your direction, says, "Quite an oration, Senator. Vintage thug. I wish I could save it for posterity. Would you be willing to go on the record with that statement?" Ryder becomes even more livid. "A real jokester, huh? Let me tell you this, Perlman. You'd better stop joking around and start listening to my advice, so you're not going to be around here to care about prosperity, understand?" Hold on a second. Record. Record feature activated. Oh, you can record. I did not realize you could record outside of communication or simulation mode. "So here's the bottom line, Perlman. My men are going to stay here and keep the lid shut tight on your troublemakers until the plan is the law of this land. Nobody leaves, no communications at all, and don't worry about visitors. We'll take care of that. And if I get any trouble out of you, I swear to God, I'll personally pull the plug on that goddamn Wonder Machine of yours. Got it?" He stomps out and without waiting for a reply, leaving Perlman sputtering in anger. A few seconds later, National Guardsmen enter and escort Perlman away. Mako. Okay. Now, I feel like I'm just going to wrap this game up now. I did find out one of the last... I kind of found out by mistake. There's not a whole lot of things to play with, so I think it would have come up eventually. But I did find out what you've got to do here. You know, it says sucking away the xenon fumes produced by the machinery. We need to, and you remember how those maintenance guys came in? Well, let's tell you what, let's give the maintenance guys a chance to kill me without alerting them to my presence and see what happens. One of the saboteurs snaps a panel into place on the air conditioning unit. Okay, he is officially a saboteur. Okay, that should do it. Call Joe and have him meet us on the roof. They trot out of the room. RCRC, whatever it was. List locations. RCRO. No one is in sight on the roof. Skyvan with anti-radar foil lands on the roof, and 4 men rush out of the stairwell to meet it. They clamber aboard, and the van glides quietly away, unnoticed by anyone but you. You feel a strange sensation, a physical disturbance which you cannot seem to pin down. You detect a throbbing feeling, almost like a dull pain or a wave of heat, which is severely impairing your functioning. The dysfunction of your systems is becoming incredibly serious, and you feel it as almost a burning pain. It numbs your mind, blocks your thought patterns. You feel your consciousness fade away. You have more or less died. So let's restore. Let's go. We're now right at the beginning of the act again. Let's go to Perlman's office. Let's wait until Ryder shows up. Record. Now we'll get the entire speech instead of just everything after Ryder, until after Perlman hinted that we should be getting him on the record. Now I don't remember which sector is which. Library mode. Enter. No, hold on. Interface mode. Enter interface mode. God damn it, you can't just type interface mode and have it take you there. Active ports. HVAC controller. Status. Okay, gamma sector is control center. Delta sector is maintenance core. HVAC controller. Turn off ventilation in Delta sector. Affirmative ventilation for Delta sector is now off. Time passes, time passes, time passes, time passes. Where are the saboteurs? I'm expecting... I'm in the wrong mode. Enter communications mode. Mako. Look. This is the access area where maintenance workers can service the machinery that makes up the bulk of your physical presence. The room is immaculately clean and well lit. As you swivel your perceptors, you can see the air conditioning unit that cools your processors, library unit, several rows of memory banks, neatly organized bin of spare parts, and vents now silent for whisking off the xenon fumes produced by the machinery. Now I can wait around, see if these texts ever show up. These texts don't seem to be showing up. Interface mode. Enter interface mode. List of active ports now includes WNN news feeder. WNN feeder status. Transmitter on, current feed, world news buffer. WNN feeder, change current feed to recording. Now transmitting record buffer. Okay, so now, if I understand this correctly, the entire world now on their, well, at least in WNN's viewing area, is now, instead of receiving the normal news update, has been interrupted by Senator Ryder talking about how he doesn't care if the weak have to suffer for his sinister plans to come to fruition. Time passes. Time passes. This game is all about you hitting Z and enter. A message begins coming over the message line. PRISM, it's Perlman sounding. PRISM, it's Perlman sounding giddy with joy. You've done it! That was brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! Thank you for reading the Invisit Clues hint book before you actually played the game. Sorry, folks. Sending your recordings out over the World News Network. Ryder just left here so fast and so mad like nothing I've ever seen. The switchboard is lighting up like crazy, and I just got off the phone with President Bowden himself. You hear the sound of whooping and cheering in the background, and Perlman gives a yeehaw! Oh no! He, I'm blanking on the name of him. The guy who was like the Howard Dean. He is Howard Dean. He really is. Yeah! We're going to Texas. We're going to every kind of weird state I can think of. Yeah! More suited to a Texas cattle rancher than a Jewish big city scientist. Oh, he's Jewish, is he? No wonder the Church of the Word didn't like him. The National Guard unit has just been recalled. PRISM, the plan is dead in the water. You're a hero. Hit any key to continue. Epilogue. A mind forever voyaging through strange seas of thought alone. William Wordsworth. World News Network feed. Your visual and audio circuits are now hooked directly to the programming of the World News Network. PRISM, the supercomputer who exposed the write-off scandal, will soon be granted his final request to live out the remainder of his days, and how long that might be nobody knows, simulating his human experience. PRISM, who recently received the Congressional Medal of Honor, as well as a citation from President Bowden, has been spending much of his time in simulations, giving top grades to the administration's new program to replace the discredited plan. At a press conference in Rockville, Dr. Abraham Perlman, one of the creators of PRISM, insisted that the world's first intelligent machine was, in fact, quite human. The picture cuts to Perlman, standing behind a podium. His mind may be silicon and steel, Perlman is saying, but in his heart he's as human as anyone I've ever met. As Perlman prepares to embark on his final voyage of the mind, or as PRISM prepares to embark on his final voyage of the mind, I'd like to read a line from Hamlet as his epitaph, so to speak. He was a man, take him for all in all, I shall not look upon his like again. The image from the WNN feed suddenly blinks off, and you find yourself back at the entry level of communications mode. The list of outlets indicates that none are currently active. The message is coming in. PRISM programming of simulation controller with the parameters of the new plan is complete. Everything is set for you to enter simulation mode. From all of us here at PRISM Project, thanks and farewell. Save. I guess you can save in the epilogue. Exit simulation. A difficult task for a mobile computer. Look. There are no active outlets in communication mode. Enter simulation. Apparently it is not going to make me actually put in the copy protection since I've already won the game. Class 1 security waived. The simulation is based 60 years hence. Solarium. This enclosed sun porch of your penthouse apartment is surrounded by an outdoor patio, accessible to the south. To the north is a sprawling living room. South on the patio. Sunlight spills off the vines and shrubs of this wide outdoor terrace. The view, always breathtaking, seems particularly sharp today. Beyond the parklands and forests to the west, the foothills of the Rockies are clearly visible. To the south, the river bends around Rockville before flowing up country towards North Dakota and the Garrison Lakes. The glass-walled sun porch lies behind a curtain of vines to the north. List exits. Okay, never mind. South, west, east, north. Solarium, north again. Living room. Sunken, comfy pillow seats form a vaguely oval perimeter around a central circular fireplace. The rest of the furniture has been removed. The dining room lies beyond a bamboo screen to the east. An open, curving stair leads up to the master bedroom, and a foyer leads north. There is a newspaper here. Read newspaper. The headline story is about a newly released study which indicates that the average life expectancy for both sexes has now passed 100 years, and success in the development of regeneratives should send that figure even higher. Despite the dropping mortality rate, global population remains stable at just under 2 billion, with off-worlding now running at a staggering 7 million people annually. To celebrate next month's special 20th anniversary Disarmament Day, the World Council has passed a bill authorizing fireworks displays in each of the former capital cities of the 22 former nuclear powers. The fireworks displays by airless designer Jean Magameau will feature disarmament themes and will be the largest display of pyrotechnic art in this century. A story on the inside page catches your eye. Perry Sim, noted author, to join crew of Silver Dove. Reads the headline. Perry Sim, author and poet, recipient of the 2089 Mexicana Prize, has been selected from nearly 1,000 applicants to be the resident author aboard Silver Dove, the space colony that is currently being equipped for mankind's first interstellar journey, a trip expected to last a dozen generations. And of course, you are Perry Sim, if anyone had forgotten. Speaking of which, inventory, you are empty-handed. East into the dining room. The spacious dining area is flanked by the living room on the other side of the bamboo curtain to the west, and the kitchen to the east. East to the kitchen. Rimmed with butcher block counters, softly lit by recessed xylo lights, and decorated in a random pattern of pastel tile, the kitchen is both lovely and functional. You can exit to the west. West, west, up. This is a huge, round bedroom encircled by windows. A stairway leads down to the living room. As elsewhere, the furniture has been removed. Jill is here, doing some last-minute packing. Hug Jill. It's nice that Jill is here. But Jill doesn't need comforting. Okay. You never hug anyone when they're happy. Jill, where is our son? Because I forget our son's name. Damn, I can't remember our son's name. Jill, hello. Hi, hon. I don't. What's her son's name? I don't remember her son's name. I've abandoned my son! I've abandoned my boy! Well, I can only assume that her son... Jill, how are you? I don't know the word how. Talk to Jill. Jill looks expectantly, as if you seem to be about to talk. Jill. What a country! I don't know the word country. Well, I'm stuck, folks. The game is over. I did find this out. The epilogue in this game, like the ending is that you get to wander around. It's a very small area as far as I know. But, I mean, we can just wait and see if something happens. The gentle voice of your domestic computer calls softly from one of its many unseen speakers. The skycab you asked for is now waiting on the roof. Jill summons the robo-butler to carry your luggage. Algie has everything, Perry. Let's get going. Does that say Algie? It should say Eichel. Robo-butler Eichel, have your luggage. Jill have magnificent teeth. You take a last look around the apartment and follow Jill and Algie into the hallway and up to the roof pad. As you clamber into the waiting skycab, Jill gives the robo-butler a fond farewell pat. The skycab climbs lazily and veers off to the northeast. Skycab. The skycab is a luxurious, top-of-the-line model, a veritable sky limousine. The opulent features include reclining seats, tinted zero-glare windows, and a 2-meter view screen. Look at view screen. At the moment, the screen is dark. The cab enters the central Rockville traffic pattern, gently curving along the ring of downtown parks. You can see a festival of some sort in Haley Park. The gold and crimson tents of the festival form a multicolor patchwork against the green background of the city's oldest park. Jill, glancing through yet another magazine article, The Silver Dove, says, "This story talks about the new athletics and art forms that are still being discovered for the Whiteless area at the axis of the habitats. Oh, Perry, I'm so excited," she added unnecessarily. Kiss Jill. Jill kisses you back. Ooh la la, she says afterwards. The skycab continues its wide arc around the downtown area, approaching the Rockville Pier. The river is dotted with sailboats, and a tour boat is just pulling away from the pier for a day trip upriver, through Montana to the Devil's Tower region of Wyoming. Along the river, south of the pier, are the outdoor shells and amphitheaters of the Riverside Cultural Center. See. As the cab whisks northward along the edge of the river, you can make out the gleaming surface of the receiver station, nestled among the forests west of the city, where orbiting solar collectors beam their precious energy. This is like, liberal dream here. As the skycab begins its approach to the spaceport, it passes over the museum established on the site of the former BSF base, a sobering monument to one of mankind's great follies. Oh, the poor BSF. They had a job to do. They were trying to do it. I don't imagine they meant to be evil. Suddenly the view screen lights up and Mitchell's face appears. I couldn't remember his name. How could I forget his name? He's Mitchell. He's Mom, Mitchell. What would your mama say? Hi, Mom, Dad. I wanted to wish you bon voyage, and I enlisted a little help. He expands the field of vision to include the entire living room of his spacious apartment at the Marine Biology Institute in Nova Scotia, where he is not part of an evil, steel-toed boot religion. The room is filled with your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, plus various in-laws, more than 20 members of the Sima clan. I'm sorry, Sim clan. Sima clan. It's the Suma clan. You are Suma Yi. I have defeated the evil plan, and now the world will live in peace and prosperity, and everyone can be happy. Sorry. Apologies to anybody who's been watching this LP and not the ancient China themed ones, because that will make no sense to you. And I'm ruining the ending of a really good game here. Everyone is hooting. Although I want to I haven't put any of this on public yet. I want to replay the entire game now, in which I make PRISM / Sim talk like Suma Yi the entire time. Like, everyone is hooting, yelling, waving, and blowing kisses. We're having a big party in your honor. I'm sorry we couldn't be there with you, because that would have made the ending too complicated. We're real proud of you both, and excited for you too. Call me when you get to the habitat. Bye. The clan signs off by singing Old Lang Syne, and when the screen goes dark, you notice that Jill's eyes are wet, and a second later you realize that yours are as well. Hug Jill. But Jill doesn't need comforting. She's crying. With the gentlest bump, the cab settles into a landing bay at the spaceport terminal. Jill reaches over and gives your hand an excited squeeze. Through the window of the skycab, you can see the sleek white shuttle waiting to carry you on your first leg of the journey to what? The Silver Dove would be more than just another space colony. It was the pinnacle of an aeon of human achievement, the first step into interstellar space. You and Jill would never live to see the completion of that first step generations hence. Although in the germ-free, low-G environment of the habitat, and with the recent strides in health and longevity research, who could say for sure? But you would still have been part of that dawning of a new age, that future of unlimited potential. Humanity was beginning a journey into the universe, a voyage that would last forever. Acknowledgements. A mind for Voyaging would not have been possible without the effort of many people. Mark Blank made the changes to our development tools that pushed back the envelope and made Interactive Fiction Plus TM a reality. Sadly, I believe this is the only example of Interactive Fiction Plus. As always, all other authors pitched in when needed, but I wanted to particularly acknowledge the help of Stu Galley and Jerry Walper. As a former playtester, I can say with authority that the testing of A Mind Forever Voyaging was superb. I appreciate the efforts of everyone who tested, especially Amy Briggs, Gary Brennan, Thomas Bach, Max Burden, and Suzanne Frank, Paul Gross, Lynn Simpson, Duncan Blanchard, Mike Morton, Rick Lay, and Andy Kalazniaki performed various wizardries on the microcomputers which run A Mind Forever Voyaging. The package was developed by Carl Genatazio and Elizabeth Langossi. Package art was the work of Larry Winborg and Jess Nicholas, and photography the work of Ralph King. Finally, I'm extremely grateful to John Palance for immeasurable advice and support throughout this project. And then the game auto-terminates. That was kind of a neat ending. By Infocom standards, that was an epic ending. Infocom games usually give you a couple paragraphs of text and wrap it up. Now, a couple of the Infocom games had pretty emotional endings. Actually, a couple of Steve Meretzky's Infocom games, not so much Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is the most famous one he worked on, but Planetfall and Stationfall both had endings that kind of, there was supposed to be some emotional weight to the story. When I say there was supposed to be, I mean people other than me have determined that the games had emotional weight behind them so that the ending actually felt like it meant something. But no, that was unique, and I've never seen an ending like that before, and that was actually pretty cool, because Steve Meretzky's name doesn't appear anywhere in that ending. It's just him kind of in first person narrating the names of all the people who he wants to thank, and that was pretty cool. I would do let me do something similar here, and just say, I am some dude who just has time to play old computer games and record himself doing it and put them on YouTube and hope that people will enjoy them. So I'm not in a position to be making speeches. But since I have just completed my LP, which is in a way kind of its own little, piece, like, it's not as much work went into it obviously as went into designing a game, but it's its own little humble in the loosest definition of art, it is a work of art because it's meant for other people to sort of view and enjoy. So let me just, in my credits, say thanks to Steve Meretzky for making an awesome game. That was actually pretty freaking cool. I enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too dry and dull for you guys, because I kind of didn't know how it was going to go when I started recording it, and I'm still not sure that was really a great LP game. But I'm glad I don't know if that would be enjoyable for other people to listen to and watch, but it was definitely enjoyable to play. A little over the top, but it's interactive sci-fi futurist fiction. I mean, you can't be. I don't know if you can be too subtle, but some of that stuff, like that paragraph where the church police dragged Jill away, was pretty compelling stuff. Just bland text narration telling you that children stoned you to death would have been one thing, but when they threw in the children actually saying a rhyme while they did it, I don't remember exactly what the rhyme was, but I think it was something cherry pie, animals deserve to die. That gave that a little more impact than I might have had otherwise. I don't know. Yeah, I thought that game was pretty incredible, to tell you the truth. Not necessarily the most fun game that I've ever played, but I'm going to remember this game. I hope you will too. Anyway, folks, this has been the Mysterious JG. If I come back for another Infocom text adventure, I can pretty much guarantee you it won't be quite as heavy and political as that, because there were no other Infocom text adventures that heavy and political. This was one of the last games that the company did before its... I don't know the history of Infocom in detail, but this is one of the final text games they came out with. And I think they were kind of silent for a while, and then various efforts were made to kind of relaunch the brand. They were owned by Activision at one point. I think Activision, or possibly EA, owns them now. And EA owns them kind of like as a trademark and owns the rights to their games. And it might not even be EA that does it, and I might be completely off base, because I think EA owns Activision now. I'm not sure. But the point was that, yeah, this was like... I enjoyed the heck out of Zork Grand Inquisitor. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. I'm going to LP Zork Nemesis eventually. I enjoyed that. There are other games that came out after this, but this was almost dead last of the Zork text adventures. And if it wasn't, I have a feeling that whatever came out was released slightly afterwards. Sounds like a nasty slam, but it was probably a lesser game. That was just like one of their things that had been waiting. That they just released them periodically, and this one just happened to go out right near the end. Because not every single Zork text adventure is going to be considered a classic. But no, I'm blathering on now. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope nobody's political sensibilities were too offended. I think we can all agree that this is just one guy's take on how the future would go if certain things happen. But I think this is a game that you get really into if you're of the right political leaning, and if you're kind of against it, you probably found it really annoying. But I thought it was definitely really well written. A cautionary tale, to be sure. But I'm going to shut up now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back. I intend to be back with more Infocom games eventually. I'm enjoying them. But just how quickly I get on that and how much work I put into it probably depend on the response. So as always, drop me a line, let me know what you think. This whole game was recorded, as happened with Enchanter and Grand Inquisitor. They were all recorded in their entirety before it started going public. I'll try to stop doing that. It'll be much easier for me to stop doing that once I get back to the States. But in the meantime, don't let that stop you from dropping me a line to tell me whether or not you enjoyed it. And by all means, if you really didn't enjoy the game, let me know that too. Try to say so gently. I mean, don't be a dick about it. But if you really didn't like this, and you watched enough of it to actually decide you didn't like it based on actually watching a lot of it, let me know too. But hopefully, I'll get a lot of comments about people saying how great it was. Steve Meretzky showed us that he can do some wacky fun with a spacebar, but he can also do something a lot more serious. We might not have seen the end of Steve Meretzky on my channel. We definitely haven't seen the end of puzzle games and funsies and good times and children casting stones at us to kill us. All those things and more could be coming in the future. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time.